channel. So today we are flying from KCRW, which is Charlestown, West Virginia, to KCMH, which is Columbus, Ohio. Columbus International, in a Cessna 172. This flight is our 7th flight on our U.S. Capitals tour, where we go from one state to another to visit each state's capital. So we're on leg 7. I didn't start the video from the beginning so that it wouldn't be too long. So we're mid-flight. We'll look at our nav log. This time is not correct. So we're almost halfway, I think, through the flight approximately. We're making good time. This video has been recorded after patch 2 update, which did mess up some things. For example, the controls sensitivity menu can no longer be accessed. However, the workaround was to go into XML files and edit it directly there, which is what I did to get the controls sensitivity turned down a little bit. As we know, the default sensitivities are very high. Excuse me. So I did that. As far as frame rates, I can't comment on that really after the patch, because I capped my frame rates at 30. That way, you know, I'm not chasing high frame rates really. It's not needed for the simulator. 30 is plenty smooth experience, and everything seems to be working pretty well. I have to look through the list of updates for the 172. I think they fixed the procedure page. I certainly was able to select my approach procedure, and I use that as a reference. This is IFR flight, so I filed an IFR flight plan, and we are in flight following. Our call sign is Skyhawk 7. So that's all great. The procedure page had plenty of different procedures for KCMH. So we are set up for 28 left. We'll see what the controller gives us. Another thing that they did fix with patch 2 or update 2 is the winds. As you can tell, the winds are now properly displayed. There is no 3-knot wind everywhere type of thing. And I've tested it on another flight earlier, and it accurately depicts it. And if you do 180, the arrow turns, and so that's accurate. As far as live weather, which we're on right now, I can't really say. It looks okay. It's not clear skies like for some people. The live weather would always default to clear blue skies, which is great to fly, but not accurate as the real world. We are flying with real weather in real time, so that's all synchronized. Our cockpit instruments refresh rate for glass cockpit is set on high, and all my settings are set on high-end system. Somebody did a comparison on YouTube with all of the settings on low, medium, high, and ultra, and I didn't see a lot of difference really from high-end system to ultra. So why tax the system, right? Looks good enough on high-end, so I left it there. So all my settings are that way, but VSync I've turned off in game, and I turned it on in NVIDIA control panel, along with the 30 frames per second cap in the NVIDIA control panel as well. That's the proper way to do that instead of using the in-sim VSync and cap. I'm running my monitor at 60 megahertz. I have a 144 megahertz LG monitor. However, for this type of software, that's not needed. Maybe if you're doing a first-person shooter, then you can take advantage of the high refresh rate monitor along with high frames per second rate. If I bump this up to 144, but I'm running the game at 30 frames per second, it's not really going to do anything. It only makes sense when you can achieve those high rates. So ultimately around 144 frames per second is what you want with a 144 megahertz monitor. That's my understanding anyways. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. Just like everything, there are opinions about everything, and different people have different results with different things. I'm just telling you about my system, and I've had great success with running the simulator in VSync at 30 frames per second. It's consistent. Here I'll pop in the frame rate counter so you can see. And you'll see the frames there are capped. They go a little bit over 30 sometimes, but that's great. My GPU runs cool. It's not water cooled, it's air cooled, and because it's not pumping, I guess I get about 55 if I unlock it, would be my guess approximately, but that's absolutely not needed. Everything, as you can see, is smooth. Everything's moving nicely. There are no stutters, nothing. So it seems to be working fine for now. So we shall see what happens down the road, but that's where we at right now. Alright, so let me take a look at our nav log, and sometimes I use this as a reference. However, I do like to use SimBrief for my flight planning, so I've used that for that. Also, it exports a flight plan file, then which I can then load up in Flight Simulator.
Contact Indianapolis Center on 124.45. 124.45 for Skyhawk 7.
Another thing they have adjusted is the voices of ATC. So if we go outside, see we're crabbing along here with the 22 knot wind from the right. But if you can see here, I gotta turn off my lights. My co-pilot is female. So what happens is if you delegate communication to AI, which is to me considered to be my co-pilot or first officer, if it's a female that you put in the settings, then the voice will be a female's voice for ATC when you're communicating with ATC. If you take it off, manage radio communications AI control, and you communicate with ATC, the voice will become male if you put male as a pilot. Anyway, so that's nice touch. Oh, we're going to turn off the lights. So let's go ahead and do that. Should have done that a long time ago. Alright, everything's looking good. I've messed with my views a little bit. I don't like to zoom in, zoom out too much for realism, because normally, I mean, your vision doesn't have the zoom capability unless you use electronic device. So I kind of set up my views like this. I have a landing view, although I use it a lot because I do like to see a little bit more of the ground. So landing view gives you a little bit of the engine cowling and a little bit up and kind of down, looking down view. And I have my regular view, where it gives you all the cockpit instrumentation along with a good view. And then I have my left window view and my right window. It's pretty neat. And then this view here kind of zooms in on the instruments a little bit, and then once more on a PFD. So that's pretty good, and I have all that set up to the top hat of my controller of my joystick. So that's very easy to switch those views. If I'm doing, let's say I'm doing pattern work at an airport, or I'm just coming in for landing and I'm in the pattern, it's very easy to have the hand on the joystick to control the aircraft, and then make those turns as I can see where the airport is, and judge it appropriately and turn, right? So we got that, and so all that's controlled with a top hat. So there's minimal zooming that's required. Of course, you can still go to close-up views or focus views, okay, for PFD, for secondary display. Other controls here, lights, etc. Right? Use that control and numbers for that. Look at how we crab in here. Look at that, 27 headwind. Yeah, I don't know if that speed is accurate with with this wind. 127.1 United 2483. But that's all right. Doesn't look bad. All right, so we're set up on. In the procedure plan, here I'll show you, we're set up for RNAV 28 left. Let me go to the procedure mode. Oh, by the way, on the second display, I kind of like to permanently display nearest airports, and you can have that set up. You can have the channel spacing or just the airport page or a map, right? You can do that. And I go to nearest. That's my preference there. Still have enough of the map, and this also gives me an ability to put airports on, frequencies, runway, map, back. Alright, anyways, we're doing something here. Okay, procedures, right? So when you select approach, now after the update, it gives you all the different approaches. So let's go ahead and, so we have our nav 28 left selected just for reference. However, if you pop that out, you'll see all the different approaches are now populated, where before you would only have a couple, right? So that's good. And I think also, Navigraph is working on a native update for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I already got subscription to Navigraph anyway, so I'll probably use that.
Indianapolis Center Sky West 671 is out at flight level 340 for 10,000 feet.
But it's definitely better, after the update. Now, one thing I'll I'll show you that really irks me is, and I don't know if it's attention to detail or what happened, but when you go to this menu here, they have added the active pause button right here, but look how ugly it is. All these nice symbols that fit neatly instead of those squares, inside of those squares, and then you have this ugly thing that's bigger with this weird line next to it, and that's fine, right, if you had the ability to turn it off, like you do some other things. Like I turned off basic controls. I don't need to see that in the toolbar. Turned off objectives. I don't use it as a game. Travel to also, I don't need that. But look, nowhere in there is the active pause control. There needs to be a button here to turn it off. I don't need it. I'm not going to use active pause. Don't use it. Rarely use regular pause. So I mean, I'm trying to make it as realistic as possible. But that's something that they will need to fix. In the next update or hotfix or whatever they're going to do. Alright, so let's see what we got. We got 6 minutes to our next waypoint, which is Nichols. Okay. I'm also looking at my Navigraph. I have a moving map on Navigraph as well. Now, our transition, look at the procedure. Our transition here, okay, how do we exit out of that? Hang on a second. Procedure, select approach. Okay, cool. So I cleared everything out. Alright, so select approach. Nope, it's still there. Okay, so how do we exit out of that? I think it was Cored, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, and that was what? 28 left. Alright, here we go. And then we go this here, back. Okay, let me see if we can do this now. Select approach. Yep. I forgot what I was doing now. Oh, I was looking at the transition. So transition is Cored, and we can get that from the charts. So at Cored, we should be at 3,000 feet, which we're already at 2,800. So, and then Habab is the intercept point for the localizer.
2275410 miles southeast of Rick. Contact tower on 120.0.
Just gives us a reference. I'm not gonna fly that on instruments. However, maybe I will. I don't know, but it gives us good reference where we need to be as far as altitudes and positioning for runway 28 left. Alright, we got our decision altitude set, which is 1015. So if you look in the PFD, we put that reference in. I also run a active flight plan in here. I prefer that. So let's exit out of this here. Go ahead and put our nearest airport list, and that gives me kind of a list of the airports that are nearby that
Frontier Flight 535 heavy contact Indianapolis Center on 127.1.
that are close by. So alright, so let's go back out here. We're getting a little bit of clouds here. We're still maintaining pretty good visibility, so we should be good. A little bit of turbulence. You see the wind picked up here. We're getting this headwind of 25. Our instruments look good. We got a good fuel flow, 2400 on the RPMs. I can probably decrease that a little bit, but that's okay. Our fuel is good, so we're all set up. And let me show you the. So this is our approach right here. So Habab is our transition as we come out of this leg of the trip, and then we hit those points there in the left and land on 28 left. Now our destination airport has 2 parallel runways. It's 28 left, 28 right. We're coming from east, and we're going to do landing. So essentially, and 28 left is the longest. It's 10,000 feet. 28 right is 8,000 feet. Doesn't matter for it's 172. Certainly, both are suitable. However, depending on the winds on the ground, they may give us 10 right, and if they do, I think we'll be able to transition from Habab to fly a little bit past the airport and come in on the pattern here to the I guess it would be downwind leg, and then cut in at 45, come in, do the base, and do the final. So we got that option if we do get 10 right, or 10 left for that matter. That's pretty good. However, really hoping for 28 left. We're all set up for that. That would be the easiest, the quickest, but who knows what the wind's going to do. Who knows what Flight Simulator 2020 ATC is going to do. It's been known to do some weird things, just like FSX. But let's just enjoy this scenery for now. Look at that. Look how beautiful it is. You got the cars moving on the ground. You see that car? Hang on a second. Okay, we're entering our left leg. Alright, we got this beautiful scenery right there. I mean, look, the sun's hitting the window. You see some of the scratches on the window. The trees look wonderful. The towns look good here. Everything looks appropriate. The draw distance, I think, looks wonderful. Your eyesight wouldn't be able to draw out much better than this here as far as draw distances. So that looks good. The lighting looks great, right? The washout effect that some people have complained about, which can be turned off, is actually appropriate to the real life, because when you have contrast between the very bright areas and dark areas, your eyesight will adjust to compensate, right? So you know, you're inside the cockpit, inside the plane, you want to see the inside of the plane like this in this particular view. It'll wash out some of the outside. Now when you go back and most of the view is now on the outside, it doesn't wash it out as much. It gives you a little bit of proper adjustment there. The same goes for let me see this view here. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell here because they're kind of gray clouds over there, so but that's appropriately modeled in the simulator. Man, look at that. Look at the turbulence. We're crabbing. Yep, once again, look at that scenery. You got the river, you got these fields. Just beautiful. Just beautiful looking. Look at that river.
Going to 11E.2 Skyhawk 7. Columbus approach. Skyhawk 7, 2,800 feet. Skyhawk Hawk 7 Columbus approach. Continue to navigate as planned. Altimeter 3, 0.06.
So we're gonna continue to T-Pay, whatever the T-Pay is. Where's that? T-Pay, right there is T-Pay. It's interesting. Let me look at our procedures. Maybe select approach. Trying to remember. So all right.
Hawk 7 contact Columbus approach on 0825.95. Going to 0825.95. Skyhawk 7.
And I want to look at we're about
Columbus approach. Skyhawk
25.
7,800 feet.
we're about 25 nautical miles away from the airport.
Skyhawk 7 Columbus approach. Continue to navigate as planned. Altimeter 30.09er.
Okay. Yeah, we're almost 1 hour into the flight, but we'll look at the airport list here and see if we can get automated weather from KCMH. Yep. All right. So
Columbus Tower Skyhawk 7 is 27 miles southeast with Yankee to land. Skyhawk 7 Columbus Tower.
okay.
Small left traffic, runway 10 right. Altimeter 3, 0.09er, with 0.18 at 19er. Make left traffic runway 10 right Skyhawk 7.
All right. So what happened was I tuned in to Columbus Airport, and because my communications were handled by the first officer or AI, it automatically requested the landing just fine. Essentially, they're giving us 10 right? So left traffic. So we're gonna go past Kebab. So actually what we should do here, let me see here. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to try to go direct to Kebab. No, direct to not Kebab, but direct to Itipia, right there, Itipia. Okay. Right there. So that should extend us a little bit here. I'm going to activate. Alright, so that'll get us to Atipe. And then we'll do our left traffic to 10 right. So let me get set up on Navigraph here, get the chart just to get kind of an idea what's it going to look like. Yep, the winds are 18 at 19. All right. All right, so now we'll look at the map here. Here we are set up for Antipe. And then we can do our procedure from there. And I think here's 10 right. Alright, well, we will see what this looks like at the end. Let me look at something right quick. If we change the procedure here, we go back to procedure, select approach, and we go to let's see here, 10 right. Now it's not gonna. It's not gonna show us. Okay, we need to load it. All right, let's see. My problem is if I load it, I think it's gonna. May take us off our path here, so let me do this. Let me go to heading mode. Oh, messed up. Okay, navigation, back to navigation mode. Synchronize the bug first. Sort of like that, I guess. Okay, heading mode. Let's go back here and see if we can. Oh, come on, man. Transition here. All right, if we go. Load that. That's not bad. It's kind of giving us an idea, right? So we can cut off here and do our left leg. Alright, so let's do that. That looks good. Go ahead and put that back on nav. Make that adjustment. Yeah, we're not going to need that wide arc because we're not doing the instrument approach here, but it gives us kind of a good path to take as a guidance, and then we'll cut off right about here, come in like this, intercept traffic pattern at 45, go down our downwind, and then cut right there. Get back in. All right, airport elevation is, you need to know this, airport elevation is 815, so our pattern altitude is going to be 1815. All right, so far so good. Not very far now. flight for about an hour. And look at this scenery. Look at those fields. Now we're in Columbus, pretty flat. Got all those potato fields. No, that's Idaho, right? What's in Ohio? I'm not sure, but I actually have a buddy of mine that I served in the military with. He lives in Columbus. So has nice things to say about that city. All right, we got good lighting there. Sun's hitting us from the east. Still pretty strong wind, and then as you heard, the tower on the ground, wind speed is 19 knots. It's going to make for an interesting landing, but we will see. I did some practice for traffic patterns the other day. I'm a little bit rusty, I will say right away, so we shall see what this landing's going to look like. But because I flew primarily Airbus A319 in FSX for a long time, I got about 400 hours with Metro Air. I've gotten used to automation. Take off. Right when you're allowed to turn autopilot on, I turn it on, and pretty much don't have it off until maybe minimums on approach, on final, and just do the landing. So a lot of it done through instrumentation and automation. So I really got rusty with the pattern work on the traffic patterns and GA aircraft. So it actually kind of worked well enough for this new simulator, because the airliners are not ready from third-party developers, so kind of forced to do GA. Man, look at that detail. That roads and the houses. This development looks nice. Wow. Man, look at that major highway right there. A couple of highways. Anyways, so that allowed me to jump back in and GA aircraft and start practicing traffic patterns, landings, all of those things, right? Hand flying the aircraft, and so that's been wonderful. All right, so we can actually see the airport right there, right? So what we need to do now, as we pass it, we'll just go ahead and turn. So let me synchronize the heading, and then our heading is going to be, what is it? Oh, it is 101. All right, so we put that on 101. Oh, sorry, 101 is the final approach course, so we need to go west here. Yeah, that looks good right there. So let me look at the closer map here. So there's the airport. We've not really passed it yet, so I'm gonna wait a little bit. And of course, we're gonna have that wind. actually matches here. If you look, the wind is coming from northeast, so makes sense that they gave us airport or runway 10 right, so we can land into the wind as we should. Alright, so now we're making this little turn here. I think we can go ahead and put it on heading mode and make our turn. Let's see. Yep, well, there's the airport. Yep, so we're okay. Here's the runway. Let me go back to this view. So here's the runway right there. So we're gonna start descending to, what is it, 1815. Alright, so altitude, oops, 18, vertical speed mode, slow down a little bit. Let's make some adjustments here so we're not start setting up. And I'm not sure, I have to look this up.
Tower, generic November 55, 8 Mike Golf, at runway 10 right, ready for takeoff IFR to Kilo Hotel Tango Oscar.
I think we're supposed to be about a mile away from
Generic November 55, 8 Mike Golf, cleared for takeoff runway 10 right.
the runway. We're actually kind of high here a little bit. We'll get that sorted out. Use our speed here. Okay, and then so essentially we're going to start looking at our positioning here. That looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and adjust our heading a little bit so we're parallel to the ground, or to the runway, I'm sorry. Yep, so that's about halfway up the beam. Alright, we're at the appropriate altitude now to fly this. Okay, so here it is. A little bit farther away than I'd like to be, but do a little more reduction here. Go ahead and turn the lights on. Check everything. And I'm flying this pattern still with autopilot, so I apologize for that. But okay, so that's right there is the runway. Our speed is good. Go ahead and do first set of flaps, and we're going to take it off autopilot. Yep. Starting our slow descent here. Watching our runway. Make a little bit of an adjustment here. So our touchdown point right here. Once it's 45 degrees behind us, then we'll start the turn. Okay, so that's us.
Clear to land runway 10 right, Skyhawk 7.
We're getting there.
Going to 132.3, generic 8 Mike Golf.
Yep, I like to give myself a little bit more room here. Alright, we're going to start this turn. Second notch of flaps. Really shouldn't do it on the turn, but I just did. a little bit.
500.
Yep.
500.
So we overshot a little bit, but go ahead and do it anyways. I think we're going to be fine here. Alright, so third notch of flaps. Getting our approach speed. We're a little bit low. We'll go ahead and power through that. No pappies here. Okay. Interesting. Alright, so here's our approach. Short final. I mean, a little bit off center line. Came in a little bit low, but I think it wasn't too bad. Alright, so...
Skyhawk 7, turn next taxiway.
Okay. We got to turn to the right, I believe. Where's general aviation? I should have looked at that. Yep. B3 is when we need to turn. Turn our landing lights off. We have lights off. So B3 is right there. Alright, not bad.
Skyhawk 7, turn next taxiway.
I got you. I'm doing it.
Skyhawk 7, contact ground on altitude 1.9er. 121.9er, Skyhawk 7.
Alright, so we'll go ahead and turn this off so we can control the radios. And we're going to request taxi to parking.
Columbus grounds, Skyhawk 7 taxi to parking. Skyhawk 7 taxi to general aviation parking by taxiway Alpha Cross runway 28 left Bravo Echo.
Cross 28 left. Bravo Echo. Bravo. See Bravo. Where's Echo is my question.
Skyhawk 7, did you copy? Taxiing to general aviation parking using taxiway Alpha Cross runway 28 left Bravo Echo Skyhawk 7.
This is supposed to be general aviation parking, but it's kind of looking empty here. Any traffic at this airport? Yeah, there's a airplane right there. Alright, anywho, so let's try this. Why don't we give control to first officer and see where he's going to take us. Looks nice, you know, with that that light from the east, looking very clear. It's looking good. I mean, general aviation parking is right here where we are. I don't know why it gave us a crossing direction here. We already crossed the runway and we're off the runway. but you know, that's ATC for you, so that's what happens. Oh, one big thing I forgot, we were landing with mixture on 75. That's a no-go. It taking us? I mean, I see, that's the terminal. You do have some airplanes here, so that's not too bad. I'm not even sure, do we have any real, yeah, we have some real traffic here. There's somebody coming in. Alright, but here, okay, we do have some traffic right there, parked, but I don't see any general aviation traffic parked. Maybe it's behind this building, who knows, we shall see. It gave us Bravo Echo. I mean, I'm on Bravo. Echo is actually all the way on the other side of the airport. Is that where it's taking us? I guess it is. Oh wow. Yep, so Echo is by runway 28 right. Now, let me show you on the map here. So according to my chart, general aviation parking is here. However, the directions we got is to Echo, and Echo, I don't know, is like all the way around here somewhere. So I don't know if it's taking us there. If that's the case, it may make us cross. That's why they gave us a cross this here runway. If that's the case, that's fine. But sometimes I like to give the first officer / AI a chance here to do some taxiing and stuff. That way I don't have to mess with it too much. Okay, so we did make the turn here. Yeah, I'm glad it sped up a little bit. It was painfully slow on taxi. Okay, why are we braking here? Yeah, look at that. It looks good, right? What do I see? Do I see some general aviation there? I'm not sure. Okay, there's the terminal. Terminal looks good. Don't see any jetways.
Columbus ground, generic Golf Alpha Juliet 870
Oh no, they're there.
requesting pushback.
They are
Generic
there.
Golf Alpha Juliet 870 pushback request accepted. Columbus ground, generic Golf Alpha Juliet 870 requesting the end of pushback. Generic Golf Alpha Juliet 870 request to end pushback received.
Yeah, Sim Brief, I think, predicted this flight to be an hour and a half or so, or block time anyways, so you're going to be right there, an hour and a half. And as you see, the Navlog in Sim gave us an hour, so it's not accurate. The ETA here was more accurate than the G1000. Alright, where is it taking us? If it's taking us all the way across the airport here, all the way through this, and to the east apron. guess that's where the parking is.
Call position generic 870.
Alright, look at the wind here. Okay, remember this. Now look at the sock. Oh, can we see it? I have to pass it. So that is accurate. Wind's coming from that direction, as you can tell there. There it is at 4. That looks about right. Alright, so that's accurate. That's good. That's good looking. Alright, who we got here? Oh, right there. There he is. Yep. Okay, good. That's live traffic, by the way. Alright, so I guess we'll be turning left here, would be my guess. I don't really know where to go on the right. Yep. Okay, and so that's our cross runway direction right there. Yeah, the shadow's got a little bit of a glitch here. But that's not too bad. Alright. Man, this taxi's taking forever. Holding short here. I'm just going to check. Looks clear there. Looks good there. Look. Alright, looks good on the right. Looks good on the left. Alright, buddy, let's cross. I guess we're going this way. Would be my guess. Look at that. Nice tire marks here. Going closer to the terminal. Alright, we'll take a look at the terminal. They really need to improve taxi speeds here under first officer control. That's painfully slow. So they didn't want us in general aviation parking, actually by the runway that we landed on, 10 right, where the FBO is. They wanted us on, I believe they want us on East Apron. That's interesting. Oh, we'll take it, it's fine. We don't need to brake here. Alright, so the shadow looks good here. Looks weird here in this view. Alright, you're getting confused now. Which way do I go? Which way do I go? Alright, good. following a good line. It's just painfully slow. Be much faster. Okay, so we're on taxiway now. See if I can do some screenshots here. That's decent textures here. I believe this is from satellite imagery. Make the turn. Man, we wasted 15 minutes just taxiing. It could have been a 5-minute job. Alright, well, you guys don't need to watch the rest of this anyways. I'm going to cut it short here. Thank you for visiting the channel again. Stay tuned for our next trip. And don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you liked it. As always, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. And keep in mind, all of this is my personal opinion, and by no means I'm a professional. I like to fly in the simulator, and maybe if there's things that I'm not doing right, point them out. I like to learn, and I hope to see you soon. All right, bye.